Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. Call to order, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Trippman.
Here.
Vice Mayor Samaria.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson Sadella.
Here.
Commissioner Tudor.
Here.
Commissioner Wise.
Here.
Stand for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening is a special commission meeting that's supposed to occur from 6:30 to 7, and then we're promptly going to start the workshop at 7 p.m. I'm going to turn this over to the, first of all, public comments related to the agenda item. If the commissioners would allow me to, since we have a very short, and this is just for public hearings, to schedule the date, if we could ask the audience to please specific to the agenda items only if there's no objection, and we can hold general comments because we're going to be taking those all throughout the night. If there's no objection.
Meaning that
None?
we can comment on this.
Only this item so we can get through it.
I thought that's what you agreed to. I like that the last time. It worked better.
Okay, so public comments for agenda-specific items only. Prior to that, if the village attorney would go ahead and read the decorum rules.
All comments must be addressed to the Commission as a body and not to individuals. Any person making impertinent or slanderous remarks or who become boisterous while addressing the Commission shall be barred from further audience before the Commission by the presiding officer unless permission to continue or again address the Commission is granted by the majority vote of the Commission members present. No clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts in support or in opposition to a speaker or his/her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or placards shall be allowed in the Commission chambers. Please mute or turn off your cell phone or pager at the start of the meeting. Failure to do so may result in being barred from the meeting. Persons exiting the chamber shall do so quietly.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and read, if you'd also read Resolution 2019-18 tentative millage rate for fiscal year 1920.
No public comment?
I just want the resolution read, and then I'm going to open for public.
A resolution of the Village Commission of the Village of Biscayne Park, Florida, establishing a tentative millage rate of 9.7000 for fiscal year 2019 to 2020, establishing the current year rolled back rate to be 9.1689, and establishing the first and the second public budget hearings as required by law. Directing the village clerk and the finance manager to file said resolution with the property appraiser and tax collector of Miami-Dade County pursuant to the requirements of Florida statutes and the rules and regulations of the Department of Revenue of the state of Florida. Establishing the time and location of the first and second public hearings, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. We're going to open for public comments. Village Clerk, you call up the first person.
Rox Ross.
Good evening, Rox Ross, 11166 Griffin Boulevard. I'm glad someone woke up late last week and decided to hold this special meeting to set the trim. But can you possibly get it done correctly the first time? This isn't the first time for the manager and the mayor and some of the other commissioners going through a trim process, and you have extra eyes with fresh village attorneys reviewing all your agendas. Nevertheless, your notice, the agenda that's posted outside of Village Hall, says that the rollback rate is 8.6898. That was last year's rollback rate. So what you advertised at Village Hall as being the resolution that you're adopting today is not correct. In addition, the rollback rate gets corrected in the actual resolution, so that's good, but it's not posted at Village Hall. Then you're trying to set the first reading of millage and budget ordinance for August 6th. August 6th is almost 3 weeks before the proposed tax bill gets mailed out by the property appraiser's office. And that tax bill is what advises the taxpayers when the hearing is going to be. So you're actually going to have the first hearing before people get notice of when it's going to be. Not only that, I'm fairly certain that the 2019 trim compliance workbook was sent to your manager. It gets sent by the DOR every year. And it provides an easy to follow, step-by-step roadmap for this process. Your first hearing to adopt a millage and approve a budget must occur between September 3rd and September 18th. Within 15 days of that first hearing, you must advertise very specific details about the millage and about the budget. Once that advertisement is in place, you must hold a second hearing within 2 to 5 days of that advertisement appearing in the paper. Please follow the law, follow the trim guidelines, and stop squandering the village's money, our money, with multiple attorney review of agendas and preparing ordinances that aren't even called for, and multiple do-overs. Please get this done correctly the first time.
Village Clerk, call the second.
No other person.
No other person?
I'd like to talk.
Okay,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Chuck Ross, 11166 Griffin Boulevard. So, as to the rollback rate, there's a calculation that of the rollback rate. That should be attached to the agenda so we can see how it was computed, and it's not there. As far as, well, I don't want to go into legal time. We're going to, when we come to the next meeting, I want to talk about the steep legal bills, but I would like to make a comment that I've been asking for the June services that are billed in July from the manager for over 2 weeks, and I haven't been able to get them. I haven't even been able to get a response on this. So, it's a public records request. It should be readily available, and I don't know what is possibly taking so long to take care of these things that used to be taken care of in a matter of days. This is simply something that exists, should be on somebody's desk, may have not been paid yet. Thank you.
Thank you. No further public comments. We'll close public comments. Manager Manners, would you care to address, introduce this item since it's yours?
Sure. This resolution just sets the trim rate at 9 points, or the, it's on, can you hear me?
No, I can.
This resolution just sets the rate at 9.7, the millage rate, and then sets the dates for the hearings. We can double check on the dates, as Ms. Ross mentioned, to make sure that we are in compliance. She mentioned something about the truth and compliance workbooks. I've not received that, and so
Excuse me.
I will check on that. So.
Do you have any comments you'd like to add? Okay, thank you. Any commissioner comments? None? I just want to make one comment, that's to make sure there were allegations here that we were doing things not in the legal process. I'm presuming that our attorney is making sure that we are. Okay? Yes, we are?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. So with that in mind, is there a motion to approve? Well, actually, let's open for discussion. Is there a discussion on the actual millage rate?
Not at this time.
Not at this time, correct?
But
So this is a date just to set the hearing, dates, correct? Okay. Are there objections to the dates that are here or anything that's on the resolution?
I won't have an objection if the dates are corrected to be sure that they're correct.
We were just been advised there's no issue?
I mean, I'll check, but these dates were selected to coincide with the budget hearings you've already set. So if these dates are not correct, then you're going to need to do a special meeting.
Okay, so,
If I may, if it's something that can be addressed now, I'd rather not have, or we have to have an additional meeting if these dates are
can we take a,
incorrect.
would you like a
Because that's more
5-minute
time,
recess?
more cost,
Yeah.
more.
Okay, so we're going to take a 10-minute recess or 5-minute recess? 10-minute?
10. There's no other comments. This is the only item.
Okay, so we'll take a 10-minute recess, and we'll just make sure that we are in compliance, and we'll come on back. So, with no further objection, we'll take a recess. Yeah, we're starting again. Meeting is now is opened again. It is now. I'm sorry, I'm getting my computer back. Thank you. Okay, Attorney Rodriguez and Manager Manners.
Okay, so in the proposed hearing dates, you guys tried to tack this on to the August 6th regular commission meeting to kill two birds with one meeting. The residents' deadline is really August 8th, not August 6th. Your window is August 8th through the 13th. The 13th is a Tuesday. That would be the Tuesday after your August regular commission meeting. Your window is Thursday the 8th through Tuesday the 13th. So that's the commission's choice.
That's our window for the first special.
So, all right, I'm going to be asked respectfully. I allow
For the
the
first.
doc.
It's not right. It's not correct.
Yes, please.
If this trend document
Could you put the mic? I'm sorry.
the timelines and the timing. So this should be very cookie cutter to do. The certification comes out July 1st, and according to the document, you have to hold a tentative hearing from September 3rd to September 18, which is 65 to 80 days from the certification. So the timing that we have in this resolution tonight, it's still ahead of the schedule that's laid out. And we're going to have an issue if the public isn't being noticed. So I would ask that we follow just the guidelines here to make this a lot simpler. It seems to be a no-brainer. Let's just follow the guidelines that are set out.
I agree. Okay, so can you give us dates so we can draft and adopt the correct dates? Appropriate dates?
So it gives you windows in some instances. You're talking about the first hearing. For clarification, you're talking about the first hearing.
The first hearing. I just want to make sure okay.
So you're talking about
The first hearing.
to adopt.
Just follow the trim notice. What are we supposed to do?
Okay.
So the first hearing.
No, because they didn't review it.
Okay. So 35.
I'm
so
sorry.
today-
I'm sorry. I don't. You welcome
No,
to
I'm
do this in
sorry,
the sunshine,
Commissioner.
but
Let's talk about it.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize because the clerk was showing me something. So what I was asking is, did we get the July 1st certification?
We did.
Okay. So if we go to, like I said, it's a simple chart here of the steps that need to be taken and the timing.
So what date is the first hearing? What is the window for the date for the first hearing?
Within 35 days of the certification of value from the property appraiser, which we already have, correct? Okay. Within 35 days of that, certain forms have to be completed by the village. The deadline is August 4th.
Right.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what today's hearing is
Right,
partially
but
about.
right. The
And then
only
we can-
issue I have is that there's follow-up dates in
Right.
the resolution that are incorrect.
Right. So then after that,
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to keep going through the dates because you're right. It provides what the dates should be. So, you keep going. The next deadline is August 24th. But that's a property appraiser's office deadline to mail out the trim notices to the residents. There's nothing
Right.
for us to do there. After that, between September 3rd and 18th, you have to hold a public hearing on the tentative budget and the proposed millage rate that you guys have adopted today, which is, I think, as tentative, which is 9.7. Which is my understanding is not increasing from last year.
No.
Right, okay.
So that's the first date, this first August 6th date that I think is incorrect, because if the notice, if they have until August 24th to send those notices to the public, and we have a hearing on August 6th,
So what are your
we
thoughts?
can't.
What are your thoughts on tacking this onto your September 10th regular meeting as a public hearing?
The first public hearing.
First.
Fine.
Right.
And then you would have another one
Right.
before the,
Subsequent one.
before what?
The state's, well, I need to know the county's deadline because we need to comply with both the state deadline and the county property appraiser's deadline. So, village clerk, do you know
Do you have
what the county's deadline to the villages? You can reconcile it with the state's deadline.
What are we looking for? I'll see if I can find it. You want the county's deadline for what? You have it? Go ahead. You have it?
I'm,
Yes.
Okay, so you're good on making the first hearing part of
The
the
10th.
regular commission meeting on the 10th.
Okay. So the second one is what I'm concerned about now. So we can't make it on the 19th, correct? So why don't we set it, go ahead in the mic. At this point, just please, go ahead in the mic.
And that first hearing date,
Go ahead.
Within 15 days of that first hearing date, you have to place your advertisement for the second hearing. And then that second hearing has to occur between 2 and 5 days after the advertisement.
Okay, so the 15th, we can have the meeting, would be safe. Am I correct on that?
no, if you have the meeting on September 10th, within 15 days after that hearing, you have to have the advertisement.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then
Then 2 to 5
2 to
days
5 days
after
from
the
that
advertisement.
advertisement.
So here I have it on. Let's see.
All right, so I don't know when the ads are available either, so that's the other problem. All right, I don't,
You could do, well, I don't know what days the commission
we're not ready to do it.
during the week.
I don't care at this point. What I want is dates that we can advertise, so we're within the 2 to 5 days. I don't know what the advertisement window is. That's,
Okay, so the deadlines piggyback off each other. So the first step is confirming the first meeting date.
okay, are we all in agreement on the 10th?
Yes.
Okay, any objection? No. 10th.
Okay, so since it's September 10th, you have to advertise your second 15 days after that.
Within 15 days.
Okay, so your deadline then would be September 25th, which is Wednesday, to advertise.
Okay, so,
Okay.
The
Key word in all this is within.
Correct.
Within,
Right,
right.
that's the deadline,
So-
not the...
Yeah, don't take the deadline as the hard and fast date has to be on that
Exactly.
date.
Can't advertise
Everything is
before.
within.
Madam Clerk?
Right.
Within.
Yes.
How long does it take to get an ad in? Once we've gotten through the September 10th hearing, then we can advertise, what?
We can take a week, but to get the dates, because if we're going to advertise. My idea this year is not to advertise, but send a notice to every property, a
To
letter.
save money.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Because we're allowed to do that.
Allowed.
Is that
We'll double
defined
check
as advertising?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is the other question. We need to confirm that we can, in fact, mail one out to every single house versus spending $5,000 or $7,000, whatever the Herald charges, to do that. My understanding is small municipalities may have that leeway. but I don't know that to be a fact. So until we know that to be a fact, we have a problem because we cannot set the second date, correct? Until we have 2 to 5 days after we advertise, we have to have that meeting.
That's correct.
Okay, so if we don't know the date the Herald's going to take the meeting, we can't put a second date in here, correct?
Yeah, you
We
need to
can
have
know-
a date certain for the ad.
We
Right.
can know the date if I have the dates set up with Miami Herald ahead of time and just
Okay, but,
release the notice.
Whether we advertise or mail,
Uh-huh.
we should be ready by Thursday, September 26th. Everyone agree with that?
it has to be before the 21st, 5th? It has to be before the 25th, so it has to be
The
the...
ad has to go out before the 25th.
Right, the ad has to go out before the 25th, but then we have 2 to 5 days after that, correct?
The advertisement just, and this is for our village attorney to confirm, I mean, the advertisement is according to statute, so
Right.
Yeah.
it is what it is. So that's the first thing I want to address immediately, that whether this needs to be a notice, can be a notice, or an advertisement. I'm feeling like it's going to have to be an advertisement. I understand that a notice may cost less money.
I mean, my recommendation is, I know there's a cost consideration here, that's a policy thing, not a legal thing. This is also an ordinance, so this is also, second read, so,
The ordinances are advertised at DVR as usual.
right, so, I mean, what I would like to see is, right after the September 10th meeting, that first meeting, the ad goes out, like, within a few days. Because as Commissioner Tudor said, that's a deadline, that's not the day you have to do it. I don't want to wait till day 15 to advertise. Let's advertise immediately after the meeting for the second meeting, so that the time can run from an ordinance perspective and a millage hearing perspective.
Right, is there...
I propose DVR, but
is it-
that's why.
I'm going to ask a simple question. I'm hoping it's a simple question. Can we do a draft and adopt where you come back and put in the date for us that is appropriate based upon checking all the ads, or can we do that? Because if we can't, then we're going to pick a date and have to then amend the resolution at another meeting.
Why can't you pick a hearing date now?
Here's my question. Depending on where the advertisement is, we have to fall within 2 to 5 days of that. So if you put an ad in, we don't know the exact day they take ads. There are only certain days, they may have restrictions for the ads, correct? So until we know that date, trying to pick a 2 to 5 day window after that, because she had planned to send it out by mail, but if we can't, we have to pick a date. Let's say they can't put the advertisement until, I don't know, they can't take it till the 15th. That means we have between the 17th and the 20th to have the meeting. Am I missing something? So until we know the date we can add it, we can't pick a date for the second, can we?
No, I mean, I would pick both days.
Okay.
Yeah, it can't be by notice. I'm sorry for interjecting. I'm sorry for interjecting. It cannot be by notice.
It's by statute.
It's the advertisement
Yes.
shall be published in a newspaper of general paid. Boundaries in which such inserts is circulated shall include the geographic boundaries of the taxing authority. So it can't be by a mailed notice.
So do you
Cannot.
know when the Herald can take the ads so we can pick the second date?
I can say like 5 business days maximum.
We can have it drafted and ready. It's not like, I mean, it can be drafted before even the first meeting. We just can't advertise it.
Especially at this time of the
Right, you
year.
know what the rate
Because
is.
will be a
Okay,
lot of other
so would you pick a second date for us that works legally, please?
Well, do we have a date certain to advertise first? Because it goes
That's
off
what
of
I'm
that.
saying.
Okay, so you want to do it backwards.
How do you pick a date unless you know when you're advertising? And that is my problem here. We have not done our research to do that.
Well,
And so-
okay, so we can advertise, if it's approved on the 10th, then we can get an ad in
By the 15th?
by the,
That's
well,
a
the 15th is,
Sunday.
so by 16th, the Monday. Okay.
When does the property
That gives
appraiser have to
us-
mail the trim?
Well,
notice?
we'll say 17th, the Tuesday, because that gives us 5 business days. That's
just
correct,
a
we can
guess.
get it in by then, Roseanne?
This is to serve.
I guess so, yeah.
What is-
Repeat the date right after the 10th, right?
My apologies, Madam Mayor, may I?
Please, I'm
May
sorry.
I? Okay. For our clerk, through your experience of sending in advertisements, what is the turnaround for the Herald? If you pick up the phone and you call them that morning and say, I need something advertised, what do they say? It's going to be in tomorrow's paper or the next day?
No. Minimum 5 days,
Okay.
business
No,
days.
bear with me, I'm just asking
Yeah,
the question
yeah.
just to get
Minimum.
timing.
5
Okay, so it's a
business days.
minimum of 5 business days. They could say more.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Right, so it could be more. So even if we advertise on what day, Manager Manners?
17th, you
The
said?
17th, that Tuesday? Or if we do it that Monday, it'll be at least 5 business days before it
Well,
actually...
Monday's only 4 business days. That's why I said Tuesday the 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Herald is Miami Herald is very strict. It
Right.
does-
So is the 19th going to work?
For the hearing, not for the ad.
For the hearing, not for the ad? Because it has to be within 2 to 5 days. If we do it on the 17th, if you get it into them by the 17th, does that mean they'll publish it on the 17th, or they won't publish it till Saturday or Sunday the following?
What I'm understanding, it's 5 business days for them to publish.
Right, but when you submit an advertisement a legal advertisement to a newspaper, you tell them the date you want, and they tell you if you've made it.
Okay,
You made the deadline, right? So if you guys have your meeting on the 10th,
Mm-hmm.
this could be drafted tomorrow. We could have this in queue ready to go. So if
Right.
the 10th goes the way the 10th is supposed to go, there's nothing preventing the clerk from having that ready to send to DVR or the Herald or whatever on the 11th to make an ad for this 16th or 17th, whichever date the
Okay.
commission selects.
so can we pick the 19th for the second hearing? Thursday the 19th?
I'm available.
That's
Oh,
the
that's,
date
Yeah.
that is, thank you.
Yeah.
That is the county date. You're correct, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
that's how it is.
So we could either do the 18th or the Friday the 20th.
It's a 2 to 5 day window.
I would say Friday the 20th, because that gives us a day of breathing room just in case something goes wrong at the Herald, or, if it doesn't go out on the 17th.
That's fine with me.
So Friday, September 20th is the second.
Okay, so we have first meeting now is the 10th, second meeting is Friday the 20th. Are there any objections from the fellow council members?
No.
Can we also put in this proposed resolution the date that it's to be advertised so it's clear in the record the commission directed?
Yes.
To be certain to advertise, assuming the 10th.
Could you please give us the language, so we'll go ahead and do that,
Um,
so we can draft and adopt as such.
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Ross.
We can do it at the 10th meeting. We can do it at the 10th meeting if you want, so it's not a draft. I'm not a fan of drafting adopts. You could do it at the meeting on the 10th in your resolution at that meeting during first reading.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because you're kind of, let me clarify why I'm saying that, because the meeting on the 10th is to bless the first round. And if you're directing her to advertise now when you haven't done that yet,
Yeah, it makes more sense.
okay?
All right.
So I'll make a note that I'll prepare something to accompany the materials for September 10th about advertising, okay?
Is there any further discussion regarding the millage rate itself?
I thought we had to do this resolution. Just said it.
This is going through, but we are not referencing the advertisement in this resolution because it's premature.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there any discussion on the actual resolution rate of 9.7 as a max?
That's max, right?
Max. It can be lowered, correct.
Yeah.
Any problem with the 9.7 max?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No. With,
And there's time if you change your mind. I mean, you have 2 more hearings on that.
Okay.
This is an estimate, so you just can't go higher than this.
okay, so is there a motion to set the millage rate at 9.7 for the fiscal year 2000, a max millage rate of 9.7 for the fiscal year 2019-20? Please, attorney, if I did not
I'll make a motion.
do that correctly, please correct my language on that so I don't make any mistakes. Resolution 2019-18. Is there a motion with the amended dates of September 10th and Friday, September 20th, the second hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, if we would, please, to come back for the workshop. Thank you. What?
Is this meeting closed?
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, that's true. I can find it. Yep. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute adjournment and then come back for the workshop. Thank you, everyone.
Well, the plan is that after the 10th, it's going to the Herald the next day.
It's going to Herald on the 11th.
Right.
Maybe 5 business days.
Yeah, I can ask them to
I have
hold
the
the
DPR
date,
print those out in a
but
day.
Well,
there is a very a time that I have to deliver
Could you
the
could you
notice
ask,
with the numbers.
could you ask the Herald now
We didn't
to hold
pass
the
the
date?
numbers.
The problem is that you guys don't really have the authority to advertise what this is
Adjourn meeting.
done.
I was about to, thank you. We have a meeting adjourned. We're not discussing this further. Thank you.